weigh-in video. It's been a little bit more than a week. I had intended to do it exactly 1 week apart. However, I ordered a scale that would, you know, weigh somebody my size, and it hasn't gotten here yet. Got lost in the mail or something. But I'll definitely have that for next week, and I'll probably do a video, a review of it. You know, tell you how I like it. I don't have any experience with scales like this. I don't know if it's going to be good or if it's, it wasn't that expensive. It was like 40 bucks or something. But, so I'll be able to use that to weigh myself from now on. So I had to wait for a doctor's appointment anyway. And as you read in the title, I actually did pretty well. I'm under no illusions, rather. You know, 19 pounds in 10 days is great until you realize that probably more than half of that is water weight. Nevertheless, I'll allow myself to enjoy the number and celebrate that as a success. You know, what do you expect after 10 days? You know, it's a good number. I've been very strict with my diet. I've been doing good with my exercise. It's a good number. I'm happy with the number. My doctor's happy with the number. We were debating, you know, the last time I was there, you know, whether or not I should go on some medication for my blood pressure. And I explained that I was planning, the reason why, you know, I'm here and planning to lose the weight. And ultimately, we decided not to go on medication, which is fantastic. If I don't need medications, I'm a happy person, right? So. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my diet and my plans for losing this weight. But before I do that, I have to go into, you know, my eating habits before. The eating habits that got me to where I am. You know, people, be as big as you are. You know, the answer is eat way too much. You know, and I don't mean, you know, a little too much. I mean, a whole lot. Stuff that would blow your mind. At least in my case. To give you an idea, now this is an extreme day, but it was not an uncommon day for me. So, let's say I am absolutely capable of, for lunch, eating a full, large meat lover's pizza, drinking a 2-liter bottle of regular Coke without a problem, probably add chicken wings. And I would be able to eat all of that by myself. Okay? 4 hours later, I could eat, you know, half of a casserole, half of a lasagna, and half a loaf of Italian bread to go with it. You know, and probably another 2-liter bottle of Coke. That probably blows your mind. It should blow your mind. That probably disgusts you, and it should disgust you. You know, it disgusts me to think about it, but in the moment, you don't think about it. You have the food, you want to eat the food, and you do eat the food. It's a total lack of self-control. But, you know, and that was, you know, that was an extreme day for me, but that was, you know, I would do that once or twice a week. I would eat three times a week. I would eat a full pizza. You know, there was no self-control, no limiting myself. And that was the diet that I kept, you know, for years. So you fast forward to now, and you know my plans for my diet now, and it's a pretty extreme change. I'm doing well with it. I'm doing well. It's tough though. You know, good to go from one extreme to a controlled setting is a interesting challenge. I'm focusing, mainly I'm going a paleo diet. I'm, you know, making sure I'm getting lots of lean protein, fruits, vegetables. I cut out bread and pasta, not because I think they're inherently bad. Okay, I'm not, you know, starting a campaign against the gluten or anything like that. It's just that they're my trigger foods, you know. I have trouble controlling my portions when I eat them. And rather than fight that fight right now, I'd rather just eliminate, because I need to eliminate a lot of calories from my diet. I'd rather just eliminate them right now and move forward without them. So I'm focusing on that. I'm trying to drink at least at least half a gallon. I'm trying to drink a gallon of water a day. You know, and that's where my focus is. I cook everything at home. I don't order out at all. I don't go out at all. I buy the food, I bring it home, I cook it, I weigh it, I log everything that I eat in MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is a calorie tracking program. Fantastic. You know, it takes, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but you know, once you get into it, it allows you to keep track of how many calories you eat a day. And I think that's important. It helps you to understand, you know, how much you're eating and how many calories different meals and different foods are. And you know, it's easy to be accountable and to stay within a limit if you're constantly on top of that. So I think that's very important. I've been very inactive for, you know, most of my life. I was really into sports when I was younger, but then I had several leg operations when I was early teens, and I spent some time in a wheelchair, and even after a year and a half of recovery from that, and I never recovered fully from that. I never, you know, was as active after as I was before, and it kind of just, it went to an extreme where, you know, eventually, you know, the last year of my life was literally going from chair to chair. You know, the shortest distance, the fewest number of steps. I had to plan where I was going to sit when I got to someplace because of how much I weigh, and ultimately because of the pain it caused. So I'm trying to come back from, you know, spending most of my day in bed or, you know, taking the fewest number of steps during the day as I possibly can. I'm trying to increase my physical activity from that. So I've been focusing on, you know, mainly walking, which is the #1 exercise, and body weight exercises, trying to build some strength in my legs to allow me to be more active. So, you know, initially the walking, I took a day, and I walked, you know, as far as I could, and I walked back, and you know, it turned out to be, actually it turned out to be 4,500 steps. I tracked it with my iPhone, 4,500 steps, and you know, I could barely move the next day, but you know, it gave me something to look at. So I didn't walk the next day. Obviously, I was in too much pain to even barely stand. But then I set a goal. I started off at 2,000 steps a day, which is, I think, about a mile. So 2,000 steps a day. I have a dog, a black lab, and I'll take my dog to the beach. You know, where I live, there's a beach, and then there are parks, and then there are trails. So there's literally no excuse to not get outside with my dog and go for a walk every single day. So I started off at 2,000 steps, and I've been increasing it. This guy I'm following suggests you increase it by, you know, 500 steps a week. I agree with that. I actually jumped to 3,000 steps this week. I'm working at 3,000 steps. And then I'll increase to 500 next week. And I track all this in a notebook. You know, just, you know, trying to every single day increase my activity level every day, whether it's more steps or more body squats, more, you know, half push-ups, or you know, whatever it is, you know, body weight exercise, whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm trying to increase it every day. I have a kettlebell, and I've been doing, you know, rows with my kettlebell, trying to strengthen my back a little bit. I'm not overdoing it, but you know, it's very important that every single day I increase my activity. And you know, some days I hurt too much because of what I did the day before, and I had to take a day off. But I make a point to get back to the next day and get right back to it. So That's my exercise. I ordered a bike specifically made for people my size. It's going to take a little while to get here, and I'm absolutely terrified about it because I haven't ridden a bike since before my leg operations when I was, well, I haven't ridden since I was 12. And it's scary for somebody my size to get on a bicycle and pedal, and, you know, it was terrifying to me. But when I get the bike, I'll be sure to go out and video my first attempt at it. That should make for pretty entertaining viewing, I'm sure. It probably won't be pretty, but you know, it'd be worth it. I'm sure, you know, a lot of people my size are interested in the options they have for losing weight, you know, and we have to find something that interests us to be successful. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. You know, I'm looking at different things that I can do. You know, walking at the beach every day, walking trails, the body weight exercise. You know, ride a bike. I don't think a gym membership is needed for somebody my size right now. I can lose weight just by walking. I mean, what would I do with a gym membership if I can barely walk in the door? So, you know, I'm working on my own struggles here. You know, within my own means currently. It's been an absolutely mind-blowing journey this last 2 weeks. You know, moving, you know, it's trying to get everything sorted. You know, I gave up the grains, the bread, and the pasta, and it was almost like I went through withdrawal, okay? And the third day, I was worse. Like, I was on the phone, I was yelling at people, you know, my dog was hiding from me, and it was the same day I chose to go to the DMV, you know, to get my new license. And, you know, it's been, some days it's been like that, it's been an absolute struggle, you know, but then other days, you know, when I do my walk, you know, I get my, you know, 3,000 steps in, and I feel great, and I come back and I cook a healthy meal, you know, that tastes amazing, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know I could cook, you know, and I feel so good. And then I do my body weight exercises, and I feel so good that I take my dog out and go for another walk, you know, and that, you know, days like that where you're like, you know, 3 months ago, I wouldn't have taken my dog for a walk, you know, I would have put, my dog had a fence in yard, I would have let my dog out, and then I would have found a seat to sit in and wait, you know. So it's interesting, just the mental transformation just after 10 days. It's not about the weight loss number. It's about being physically active, and it's about feeling like a human being again. When you're this size, you don't feel like a human being. People don't treat you like a human being. You don't act and behave like a human being, and it's mentally, you know, it's tough, you know, but it's nice to go out and do, you know, when you see people out walking their dog, you know, and you acknowledge them, they acknowledge you, and you feel like you're doing it right, you know, and it feels good, you know, so, you know, the frame of mind is pretty, you know, pretty optimistic. I'm going to keep at it, and you know, we'll see what the weeks bring. I'm sure there'll be more struggles. You know, it's been tough even just coming here. You know, you leave everything behind, you leave family, friends. You know, that support structure. But then you look back and, you know, they're your friends because they accept you for who you are, right? Which is fantastic. My friends they're great people. They're absolutely amazing people. But they accept me for who I am, but who am I? I'm extremely unhappy with where I am. I'm extremely unhealthy, and I'm on my way to being dead in 2 years probably, right? I don't want to be who I am. I need people that are going to support me for who I want to be. And you know, they try, but I am who I am to them, and that's how I fit into that structure, right? This is something that I really need to take upon myself. That's another thing. You know, I'm fantastic at finding excuses to not get things done. It doesn't take much to be an enabler to me. You know, if somebody's eating pizza, that's good enough to get me off my diet. You know, it's not their fault. It's not their responsibility. It's my responsibility, and I need to kind of step away from that and take ownership of it and get it done. So, you know, I'm struggling, but I'm successful so far for week 1. So, I thank you for watching the video, and hopefully I'll be able to make the video here in on schedule every single week is when I get my scale, and I'll do a video of the scale. You know, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, you know, is in relation to people my size, you know, in case somebody my size comes across this channel and is looking for a scale maybe, or, you know, looking, you know, whether or not they should invest in it. So, but thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.